The damage you're causing yourself by thinking you're fundamentally broken is way higher now than any damage you might have suffered in the past. That really resonated with me and made me cry like I haven't cried in probably 20 years. What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome to r/Deciding to Be Better, where your demons are finally going to get their day. If you're like me and tired of all the negativity out there, then come on in for your dose of Reddit Hope and Happy. Our first post is from user Matt the Mentor. When you ignore your demons, they go to the basement of your mind and lift weights. That's a quote I heard from Amanda Palmer. When I'm in pain or I feel lost or overwhelmed, I just want to hide. Sometimes I know I should look at the bright side, but it's hard to see that while I'm laying on the ground scribbling "I am not a failure" in a messier and messier font, hoping it will start to feel true. I'm worried about your demons too. They've been lifting weights for a long time, and this is not going to get easier. I understand that you feel overwhelmed in the moment. I understand that you want to hide and numb yourself. I understand that you want to do literally anything except confront what you're feeling. I've been there. We've both been there for a long time, waiting for life to not be so painful and wondering why other people know what they're doing and we missed the memo. The metallic clinking is getting louder and louder, but we're still curled in a ball hiding. This has to stop. Clink, clink, clink. For me, a lot of this revolved around being alone. I am one of those people that doesn't really know how to have fun by themselves. Left to my own devices, I can alternate between overworking myself and procrastinating/feeling bad about not working. If you're similar, then you know how even a bad relationship can be a welcome painkiller. It means you're not alone with your thoughts. It means at least one person likes you, even if you don't. It means you're not painfully comparing your life to how you thought it would go. But the metal was always clinking in the basement. I often knew I was hiding from being alone. I was terrified of it. In my case, I knew I needed to learn to be alone. Then I could pursue relationships for the right reasons. When we hide from demons, we usually know what the right thing is to do, but it's also the most terrifying. I need you to understand it's okay. You don't have to feel ready to do the right thing. You just have to do it. Clink, clink, clink. The secret is that you're never going to feel ready. You're never going to know exactly how it will play out. But if it's going to hurt no matter what, and it needs to happen no matter what, then it doesn't make sense to put it off. It's like having a giant, nasty, buzzing beehive hanging right above your pillow. You know it's there, it's always loud, and you're always scared you'll get stung. But you're scared of trying to remove it, so you just live with it. The loud buzzing fills every moment with anxiety and fear. Remove the dang beehive. You're never going to feel ready. It's never going to be easy, but it is okay to do something before you feel ready. And if you're justifying procrastination because I don't know exactly how this will go, or I don't know exactly what to do, then you are making your life way harder than it needs to be. The good news is that you can start small. I'm not asking you to fix everything in one day, but since fear is the only thing holding you back, taking small steps will show you it can be done. I know you're going to say this is just a Nike commercial and you can't just do it. Pump the brakes. Honestly ask yourself the reasons you haven't done what you need to do. Honestly ask yourself what's the worst case scenario if you just tried and it went south. It would hurt, but would your life be over? And I guarantee you that you would learn from that experience, either what worked/didn't work, or what to do differently next time. What I'm saying is that the most important goals can't be done perfectly the first try anyway, but they still need to be done. It's okay to do it before you feel ready, because that's the only way to get closer to feeling ready. You're not imperfect for feeling fear. You're wise if you can try a few scary things to learn the right way to handle this. You're wasting time if you let fear keep you from the only path forward. I realized that this is like a chart with two lines. The first one has a bump in the beginning, but then flatlines. That's how scary something is or how much work is required. Starting is the hardest part, but it gets way easier if you can just try. The second line starts at 0, but is a straight line growing steadily. That's how much the decision improves your life. It might take a day or a week or a month to get past the hump, but your life will only get better. And the sooner you pull the trigger, the sooner your life starts getting better every day. Let's pull the trigger. Let's stop hiding and listening to the demon lifting weights. The best time to deal with them is now, and we're as ready now as we'll ever be. It's okay to be scared. You know what you need to do, and we both know you'll feel better when you stop putting this off. Are you ready? Clink, clink, clink. Further reading. If this post resonated with you, you might enjoy The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. This book has changed more lives than almost any I know of, and if there's big changes you've been needing to make in your life, then this book will give you a heck of a push. Whatever your demons are, please know there's other people fighting something very similar. You're not alone. I know we'll both feel better if we can take one tiny step today. We can do this. Oh wow, Matt, your writing just gets better and better each time I come across one of your posts. And it's always so hard when I'm choosing what to read, especially now that I've dialed things back, because it's just like, oh, this is so good. And yet I don't want to just do your stuff time and time and time again. But my gosh, what an incredibly poignant and meaningful post. And I especially love your title there. You know, it's true. The only way we do ever get closer to being ready and being the person we want to be is if we confront those demons. I had a therapist one time tell me this analogous story about a monk who decided to live in a cave because he wanted to escape his problems. And I guess the cave was haunted or something because all of his problems manifested themselves in the form of this demon that he had to fight every day. And he kept fighting and fighting and fighting until years later, he simply invited the demon to sit down at his fire and said, "I accept you." And the moment he did that, the demon disappeared. It's amazing how so many of our own issues can be caused from self-inflicted wounds that we refuse to address. Especially in today's world, I think a lot of people need to hear this kind of a message. So thank you again, as always, so much for sharing the post. Wherever you're at, wish you the best and stay beautiful. Our next post is from user Ocelot Dad. But first, if you're enjoying the video, I'd encourage you to check us out on social media at the Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram links in the description below or in the banner. Broke up with my girlfriend after 6 years and living with my mom at 31, but finally understanding why I have felt so much pain for so long. My life has turned upside down during the past week. On Sunday, I broke up with my girlfriend after a 6-year-long relationship. I left the apartment where I have lived with her and my cat for the past 4 years, and now I am back to living with my mom and sister, with whom I don't have the best relationship, for the first time in almost a decade, at 31 years of age. The breakup was harsh. It started with a fight over her not wanting me to use her car and me calling her selfish because of it, and ended with me storming out of the apartment and telling her that she is just like her dad and a bunch of other extremely hurtful things. Looking back, I realize those were very low blows, and I wish with all my heart I could take them back. Even though the fight started over something kind of silly, it eventually evolved into something much more serious that made us realize that we have been having deep communicational problems for years now, and that we have been neglecting them because of the safety we give each other. Now, almost a week after the breakup, I have to say that even though I feel extremely sad right now, I also find myself experiencing what some would call a moment of clarity. Over the past couple of days, while being in this extremely vulnerable state, I've found myself understanding a lot of things about myself. I had a long conversation with my mother, and I told her things I have been wanting to tell her for over 15 years. And I also talked to my ex and told her I was sorry for so many things I've done to her over the past 6 years that I truly never realized were even a problem. I even find myself seeing things my therapist told me in a whole new light. And that is where I was trying to get to, and I hope I can help anyone reading this. My therapist always told me about the importance of being true to my personal desires, to what I really wanted to do without thinking about other people's expectations about me. I always thought he was just trying to make me feel better and was just trying to tell me not to be too hard on myself. I kept telling him, "You don't get it. All I have to do is keep going to the gym, not masturbate or look at porn, and everything will be alright." I felt like he was trying to relativize morals and didn't understand my struggle. Now, I understand that just being healthy or not looking at porn doesn't really address the root problem, which is shame and guilt. Addressing the root problem is way harder and takes a whole lot of courage. I'm not trying to tell anyone to stop going to the gym or to watch porn every day. I still believe healthy habits are extremely important. But I am trying to tell anyone going through feelings of guilt to try to understand why it is that they feel so bad about doing these things that they consider bad or unworthy. For me, it is because my mother always made me feel like trash since I was a kid, and I grew up convinced that I am a terrible person that constantly needs to prove to other people that I am actually good deep down inside. Watching porn or being lazy only fed the shame and guilt that I have felt all my life. And now that I see it that way, I truly feel like I have taken a huge weight off my shoulders. I talked with my mother for over an hour on how I grew up feeling worthless because of the relationship we had, and told her I forgive her and that I am sorry for any pain I might have caused as well. I also talked to my ex about so many things, and she told me, "The damage you're causing yourself by thinking you're fundamentally broken is way higher now than any damage you might have suffered in the past." That really resonated with me and made me cry like I haven't cried in probably 20 years. I'm sorry if this post has a bad structure or a bunch of grammar/spelling mistakes. English is not my first language, and I am trying to write with as much honesty as I can. I'm also trying to help other people that might be going through a similar experience as me. Try to come to terms with your past and find the root of what is causing you to feel guilt and shame. Healthy habits can only be sustainable if you're at peace with yourself. And that can only happen if you tackle the demons that have been haunting you probably since you were a kid. It is not easy. It literally cost me everything to come to this realization. But strangely enough, I feel relieved today, especially after writing this. Thank you for reading. Edit, just wanted to thank every single one of you that have replied to this post or reached out via DM. It really means a lot. Man, OP, that is quite the post. I specifically kind of picked this one out because I thought it dovetailed very well off the first one here. This is the cost of what happens when you do let your demons lift weights in the basement, when you never address them. It can lead to blowing up everything in your life. It can lead to costing you, like you said, literally everything. Once you do deal with that guilt and that shame and the rage that stems from both of those, though, like you said, it feels like a weight's been lifted off your shoulders. I think a lot of people really need to hear this message of why it's dangerous, why it's bad to not deal with your demons, to just let them be there. And you know what? There's no shame in being where you're at right now. You've had kind of a traumatic thing happen, and now you're trying to change things for the better in your life, even if it means being with your mom for a bit. You can do this just like anyone else can, if you're willing to put in the work. So thank you so much for the post. Thank you for sharing your story. Wherever you're at, I wish you the best, and stay beautiful. You can check out more Deciding to Be Better videos at the playlist link on the left, or if you want to see what YouTube thinks is best for you, check out what's on the right. Now you guys stay safe, stay healthy, have a great weekend. I will see you all on Monday with more wholesome and positive Reddit stories. Until then, stay beautiful, people.